All right, I'm back with another video. I'm going to be discussing about the Bitcoin chart, and I'm also going to be discussing about parabolas and what to do about them, and sort of DXY as well. And I'll be talking about a secretive asset. This is a secretive asset where I think it has seen a multi-decade long peak. I think we have seen a multi-decade long peak in this one asset that I'll be discussing later on. Not Bitcoin. I don't think it's a multi-decade peak. Actually, a multi-generational peak. For this specific asset that I'll be talking about at the end of the video, I think it is the top for probably the rest of our lives. But let's get this started right here. So let's talk about parabolas in Bitcoin and trying to call the bottom too early. So calling the bottom too early, the generational bottom, has been what a lot of accounts have done. This stupid guy on Twitter, this horrible, horrible account, always keeps saying, "Get ready for the next bull run." He posts like all these bullish charts, and he's been calling the bottom since he created his account back in February. I think the nickname, the name that he puts in is like TA Analyst, and he also has like Zor Strategy. He's got like some algorithmic long-only trading bot. That account is horrible. But he's been calling the bottom literally from here to here. Why has he been so stinking wrong? It's kind of as stupid as all these accounts that were calling the top all the way at this rally. A lot of accounts are calling the top at this rally. And it's the exact opposite. When this parabola breaks, everybody's now trying to call the bottom. It's ridiculous. But why are people... What is the way to not get so wrecked and keep trying to call the bottom every single time? And it's called the parabola. You got to respect the parabola. This parabola right here has been respected this entire time until we reached the pinnacle top right here. And then when we started consolidating and breaking this parabolic structure, the cycle was over and we went down. And we had a dead cat bounce made of rubber right here. We went down, had a dead cat bounce made of rubber, and now we are parabolically decreasing down. I don't think we're going to specifically go, this is my worst case scenario. I don't think we're going to go down to any of these other crazy levels down here. But that's sort of the thing. Right here, imagine calling the top right here. So imagine saying like right here, you're saying, oh, this was a double top right here. But no, the parabola keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Like right here, imagine calling the double top right here. But as you can see, this parabola kept going on and on and on and on and on. And it kept going up. It kept going up higher. And it just kept bouncing higher and higher and higher. Until you're finally like right here, oh, it's a super cycle. And then when the parabola breaks, everybody calls the bottom on that as well. So fading the parabola is a horrible idea. Actually, I think I could maybe... Yeah, this parabola kind of looks a lot more... like this. Yeah, but the parabola got so stinking steep right here when we kept testing it and testing and testing it that it literally just had to keep going vertical by the time this parabola ended. But that's how long the parabola kept going on for. The parabola kept going on for many, 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 many months. It went on for 2 years of parabolic increases. This rally is absolutely insane. This is one of the most insane rallies we have ever seen in any asset back in 2017. But imagine trying to fade this parabola. Imagine trying to fade this right here. Just keep trying to call the top at every single drop, saying right here, oh, this was the top right here at 3,000. And boom, it did a 20x from there. It literally did a 20x from that level. It went all the way up to $20,000 before it ended up topping. It's the same right here. Imagine calling the bottom right here, saying, oh, $350 right here. This little wick was the bottom after it went here. No, the parabola kept going down, and it kept going down, and it wicked all the way to $150 before being quickly bought back up to $20. This was when market cap was way lower back during that time. And this one was not a parabola formation, so you can't really talk about inverse parabolas right here. But this parabola, this was a parabola as well. And in this parabola, it just kept going up and up and up and up and up. Yeah, so we got this data point right here. Jeez, I suck at drawing these. So we got this data point right here. And we got this data point right here. And then when it broke, we had the March 2020 crash. It was the top for a year. Or over a year. This is a little mini parabola as well. You'd have called the top with that mini parabola as well. You got to have 3 data points for a parabola. And that's how you draw parabolas. You have to have 3 data points. So this correction right here, this little sideways correction right here, and this correction could be connected for a parabola right here. For this one, we've had multiple corrections. We got this correction right here, that correction, that correction, that correction, that correction, and all the way up to that top right here, where it just gotten so vertical that it basically just had to keep going vertical for the parabola to keep going strong. It literally just had to, and it did. It literally went vertical for the last month. It literally did a 2x in a month right here, as you can see. It literally went up 200% in a month. And that's how dangerous fading parabolas can be before they actually break structures, that they can go on these insane rallies even if they have to keep going literally vertical up, like, to keep their structure. They can do that, and that's kind of the stage that we're at with DXY, not VIX. DXY right now is that we broke above this long-term horizontal or diagonal top. We reached this Fibonacci level. We can go all the way up to this Fibonacci level right here, the 1.472, if we can. But we're at the stage where DXY could go vertical right here. It could literally go up vertical because we got this correction right here, or we got these data points right here. Yeah, sort of like this. Come on, man. But yeah, so we got this correction right here. Yeah, this does look pretty correct. But we're at the stage right now, kind of similar to the final stage of 2021, where DXY basically has to go parabolic to keep its parabolic structure. And these parabolas are hard to draw because they don't allow you to have as many points. Is there a way that I could draw to where I can fit them through each correction or something? But yeah, as you can see, we can kind of see the tests right here. This is the test. This was another test that's still on the parabolic structure. And right now, we're basically at this stage where we basically have to go vertical. So in order for DXY to keep its parabolic structure, we basically have to be at 110 by the end of the month, which honestly, I could see us doing that. I could see us going all the way to $110 at the end of the month. It could very well happen. It could very well do something like this, and the stock market could get absolutely obliterated, like if the Fed gets very hawkish. And then we finally see the drop in DXY after that. And then we see like a 2018 style bear market for DXY, and maybe that's when Bitcoin bottoms and goes sideways, and that could correspond with the pi cycle bottom and other stuff. But off of my tangents about parabolas, that's the thing. I am very terrible at structurally speaking in a video. I don't know how long this video is. Am I even recording right now? Yes, I am. I'm terrible at talking, but yeah, you do not fade the parabolas are not meant to be faded. And we got an inverse parabola right now in Bitcoin, and we're still underneath that parabolic structure. It could go to an area where in order for this parabola to keep continuing, we'd be at $12,000 by September. And then if this parabola kept going on, it would be all the way at 3,000. I think it would be 0 by the end of the year. So the bottom is either, so speaking about that, the bottom is probably going to be this year. Speaking about this parabola, because it's going to break at some point. This parabola is going to break, whether it's here, whether we go down here, or even if we go something like this. This would be disastrous. But but it's going to be this year, or else it's 0, which I highly doubt it is. I feel like we could break it soon, though, but I'm not going to try to call it right now, because that's a dangerous game to play, because it can keep going parabolically down for a while. So in order for me to call the bottom right here, I think one thing that would kind of make a good bottom call is accepting above 23,000. We got so much confluence right here at this $23,000 level coming up next week. Yeah, pretty much next week, where we got the 200-week moving average coming to 23,000. The 0.382 level is also at 23,000, and the inverse parabola is also at 23,000 right here. And that's when we will that's when we'll see if we're going to get rejected and go straight down and have a bloody August, or if we're going to come back down, form another accumulation bottom and accumulate in this range for a while, or have a sort of sideways accumulation kind of like that. Those are sort of my two main scenarios. One of my scenarios is deviation below and keep going. My base is right here, and my worst case is this. But the parabola is not being broken yet, so we cannot confirm that the parabola has broken just yet. All right, so we talked about DXY, we talked about Bitcoin. Ethereum Bitcoin still looks horrible. I think Ethereum, if Bitcoin does go sideways and Ethereum keeps falling against Bitcoin, I could honestly see Ethereum going down to these lower levels, like let's say right here. Maybe a little bit of the bomb formation. Ethereum has some sort of like problem, some sort of like bad news right here. Worst case, my 12K scenario is right here where we go down to $400. That's my worst case. My base case is $600. While Ethereum is still tanking against Bitcoin off of this distribution top, all the way down towards these levels at 0.2, 0.3, and 0.23 right here is sort of where I'm thinking. And honestly, looking at this long-term Ethereum Bitcoin chart, it kind of does look like lower highs. And it does look like, for Fibonacci's, where do we test on a Fibonacci level? It looked like we were distributing right at the golden pocket. We might have wicked pretty close to the 0.786, but this might just be a golden pocket retest, and that looks horrible, to be honest, Ethereum Bitcoin. But this is not the chart that I think will have a multi-generational top that will never recover. This is on a monthly chart. It's gold. The gold looks horrible. Tell me this chart right here, and not tell me that this is bullish whatsoever. I don't know what people are smoking, saying that this is a bullish looking pattern. It's not. Where's the RSI right here? Do I even have the RSI on my trading view right here? Where'd you go, stupid RSI? Do I have RSI right here? Where am I? There's indicators, RSI. There we go, right here. Jeez, there we go. Why didn't it show before? Anyways, look at this right here. Does this not look like a clear deviation top? A clear double top with a deviation above? A deviation like that with some bearish divergences. It looks like Bitcoin's daily time frame right here. It looks like Bitcoin's daily time frame at this top. It literally looks exactly the same, where we sort of topped right here. And we saw some divergence right here before we ended up trending down again. But look at this. We're literally at the same stage for gold right now on a multi-decade long monthly chart as Bitcoin was at 60K. This literally is like Bitcoin 60K right here, except this consolidation right here is lasting for 2 years before we end up dropping more. And if we do something similar to Bitcoin, these are some of my fib targets. This type of drop right here, we go like this. We do something like this, you know? I'm trying to think. Like something like this, you know, maybe consolidate right here. We could be bottoming out at the 2030s right here. And let's say it gets even worse and goes to my worst case. This is a correction that will take decades. And that will take like 40 years to recover, because this is a multi-decade long run. Or maybe we don't even recover and gold just stays sideways right here forever. Like that. With this deviation above its previous top right here. Its previous monthly top at $1,800. It just deviated above it. And it looks like it's going back down below it. That's horrible. Horrible looking chart. I don't know how anybody can look at this and be like, oh, this is a wonderful store of value. Look at this. It could be like right here. This bear market, after that mania phase in the 70s, took 20 years. This took 20 years to bottom of just downwards price action to the 50% fib level, which is what I think will happen here too. 70% over the course of 20 years. That's a horrible store of value in my opinion. And look at how long it took to go to break even. It took 30 years to return to its previous all-time high. That's terrible. That is awful. And it looks like you'll be doing that again. It looks like you'll be doing a bear market kind of like this, and then taking 30, 40 years to recover. I don't know what type of company wants to store that as their value. I don't know who in the world wants to store something like that as their value. There's no use for it anymore. Nobody wants it. There's no demand for it anymore. Why do people think it's some magical inflation hedge? It's not. It's not some magical inflation hedge. And the advertisement for it is absolutely ridiculous too. People on TV are literally talking about like, oh, gold is going to what is it called? Gold is going to help you when the U.S. economy collapses. And I see these on TV, like on actual television, people advertising this garbage as like this amazing investment that will protect you. It's not. It's not a good investment. Look at the charts right here. The charts look horrible. Silver looks even worse. Look at silver right here. Silver on the monthly tested the golden pocket as its top right here. This is a horrible looking chart. I don't know how anybody looks at this and is like, wow, oh my goodness, look at this awesome store of value. Wow, it's down since the 1970s. It literally did a double top formation like here. It literally peaked at the same value as its 1980s top. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful inflation hedge. I was getting a little bit too ranty about precious metals, but it's kind of truth that they're horrible stores of value. Awful. Look at this. This decade has been the highest inflation decade in history. And this isn't talked. This is actual like truth about the CPI. This is what the CPI looks like in reality. If we were measuring it, they're making it so it doesn't look as bad, and they're kind of mimicking the data. But with calculations that were based on the 1970s and 1980s, we're actually coming at 18% inflation, and we've been around 10% for this entire decade. And look at what gold's done. It's done jack. It's done jack for this whole decade right here. The stock market's done pretty well. Look at the stock market. They got a nice looking monthly chart. I know it's been correcting right now, and this is my long-term actual outlook when it comes to population collapses. This is talking about many, many years from now. I think we'll have a forever peak in about 2040 or so. But if you look at the long-term chart over the last while, this looks great. And Bitcoin looks even better during this inflation environment. Bitcoin's been up only. This structure is amazing. And I think this structure will continue for the next 5 years or so. All these look great, but gold looks like complete garbage right here over the last 10 years. This looks like complete absolute garbage right here. This is distribution top. and we're probably going to go all the way down to here. Silver looks even worse. This is awful. This is absolutely horrendous. And oil long term too. Oil is literally just a sideways thing that has 70% dumps and like 300% pumps. Oil's not that good either long term. This doesn't look that good either. Bitcoin looks like a better inflation hedge, and even the stock market looks like a better inflation hedge long term than any of these. I know it looks pretty bearish right now, but yeah, and this was a yearly time frame. I came up with this idea like last week or so. But yeah, something like that. Yeah, this is sort of my long-term outlook on the stock market. Even though I think in the shorter term, if you want to look at stocks where I think we'll bottom out at, I'd say right here, or right here. So we could go down to 3,500. Or we can go down to 3,200, or we can go down to 2,800. I'm kind of actually leaning towards 3,500, kind of like this. But I also see this as a possibility as well. Usually the stock market usually lags behind Bitcoin, so I think the stock market will bottom about a few months after Bitcoin will bottom. But yeah. Getting off my rant, I think precious metals are horrible stores of value. That's one thing that I firmly believe. Gold and silver are horrible. Like, look at this chart. This is horrendous. This is absolutely terrible. There's no excuse for it at all. This price, it looks so weak at its previous peak. It's laughable on a monthly time frame. And with these monthly corrections, these take decades to play out. Anyways, off my rant. I hate when people show gold on television like it's some magical thing that's gonna save you from all of your economic troubles. That's all I really have to get at with this video, so yes, bye.